So this from the back, like, Anthony, there's this narrative about like, oh, if Jake does well, then this whole thing's scripted, and obviously Jake's going to take offense to that, but I feel like you should probably take offense to that, because the people who are suggesting that are kind of questioning your integrity and suggesting your pride's up for sale. Do you think the people who are suggesting that underestimate who you are and your values as a fighter?
I'm not too sure. You know, my mind's not even there, but it's a great question. That's the whole point of this fight. It creates conversation, barbershop conversations, taxi conversations, aeroplane conversations, and that's what we want. The more people talking about the fight, regardless of what it is that they're talking about, is a massive bonus. So for me, I'm not worried about what people think about the integrity side. I'm more worried about, are they talking? And as long as they are, I think we're doing a good job.
They're definitely talking. Jake's ability as a boxer is kind of a hard one to gauge, right? Because he fights opponents that aren't your traditional boxing opponents you'd face at the point of his career. When you look at him and his ability, can you rank him compared to the guys that you have fought in your career? And where would he rank?
The start of my career. Yeah, he'll be someone that I would have fought early on in my career. I've got a lot of experience now. But yeah, someone at the start of my career, I'd say. But I don't know who to say exactly, but maybe someone at the start of my career.
Anthony, Charlotte Daly from Daily Mail.
Hello.
I was actually talking to Eddie Hearn recently about this matchup with Jake Paul, and
yeah.
he was saying about the Daniel Dubois defeat, and that potentially it was more painful than people may have anticipated or imagined. Is taking a fight with Jake Paul trying to find that fun again and that enjoyment again in boxing?
Boxing's not such a fun sport. You can't play boxing, so it's not so fun if I'm honest, but it was just a great opportunity to get back in the ring and get back to big time business. As your colleague said, or the person next to you was saying, people are talking about this fight, and that's the whole point of boxing, is to make big noise, be in big fights, and that's exactly what this opportunity brings. So it wasn't so much just for the aspect of, let's get back, let's have a bit of fun. It was, let's make some noise, let's get back at the front of the queue, at the front of the race, and show people why we are the leading fighters in the world, and with the best promotional team in the world and the best training team in the world. So yeah, we're at the front again, and December 19th will prove why.
You said about being with the best training team in the world there. We saw you in the ring. Lots of movement. What would you say the best or the most significant change you've had since teaming up with the Team Usyk camp?
Maybe that I pray more. That's important. And I learned that from the team, the importance of prayer. So yeah, that's important for me. So yeah, I pray more now.
Hey Jay, just a chapter from the Sun. Interestingly, when Canelo was going to fight Skull, he was going to fight Jake before that, but collapsed.
Why did it collapse?
Who knows?
For whatever reason, yeah?
But he said it was the first time his daughter came home and asked him, are you going to fight Jake Paul? And he said it was the first time any of his kids had ever mentioned boxing to him. Which speaks to the, obviously, impact that Jake has to younger fans. Does your boy know who Jake is? And has he asked you about this fight?
I'm sure he knows who Jake is, but I don't really take boxing home, if I'm honest with you. He hasn't spoke about the fight. I haven't actually spoke to him about the fight. We talk about maths, the purpose of life. I talk to him about confidence, but I don't really talk to him about my career and stuff. Like, son, let me tell you about the jab I threw today in the gym, right? I was slipping this, and he'll be like, shut up, Dad. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really bother him with that talk, but I'm sure he knows. He likes gaming, but it's not a conversation that he brings up and never brought up, and he knows what I do way before Jake Paul. And even now, I find Jake Paul, he hasn't brought up the conversation, because I've never taken boxing past the front door, if I'm honest.
Interestingly, I heard that Jake and you had a phone call, and that's where this all started.
Yeah, I'm managing myself, fighting, managing.
But sometimes that is what it takes. Your confidence Spence did that. You've obviously spent so many years going back and forth with Tyson Fury. Would it not? Is that not what it would take?
I've spoken to Tyson before. Me and Tyson I actually signed to fight Tyson. I think it was actually around the time I defended well, not defended, but I put my belts up to fight Usyk. I was supposed to fight Tyson Fury, correct, yeah? And then Fury had his issues with Wilder and their contractual issues, so they fought a third time. But I've been in a position to fight Fury a number of times, yeah.
But if you and Jake can get on the phone and sort of fight, do you have hope that maybe you and Tyson could even do the same?
Of course, there's hope, especially when you're talking about doing big time boxing. And Jake's showcasing, you know, it can be done. So, and I'm showcasing it can be done. Like, we've been in mega fights time and time again. This ain't our first rodeo. We're back again, big time boxing. I just feel like it takes two to tango, and I'm on the dance floor. I'm just looking for a dance partner.
AJ, right here, Jose with MMA Fighting. I'm just curious, you spoke about it a bit, but Jake brings a different fan base. Like, it's a very young fan base,
Yeah, he
especially
does,
on
yeah.
Netflix. They might discover you for the first time because you're fighting Jake. So has this whole fight week and just kind of experience just felt much different from like all the other fight weeks you've had?
Not necessarily, if I'm going to be honest with you. You remember, we've done like, what have we done? We've done unifications, heavyweight title fights, Saudi, America, second time here, Wembley, Cardiff, Tottenham. They've been big. So this is just like another day at the office, but it's good. Listen, the focus is to win. My focus is to focus on training. I'm not spending my time. I don't see what's going on. I just train. So yeah, you got to look at it from a fighter's point of view. I'm just training and focusing on the fight.
Hey, Jay.
Yeah.
Yes, you're with MMA Junkie. On paper, this fight is supposed to be a huge mismatch, right? You're like a huge favorite. So wondering, sometimes when we see those big discrepancy in skill, sometimes the better fighter carries the other fighter, or maybe goes a little easier. Is there any part of you that maybe thinks that way, or are you going in there 100%?
Zero part of me. And it's not even that, it's Jake. It's just, do you know, I was actually looking at myself today. I'm a very like respectful guy, brought up by a good family, but if I can kill you, I will kill you. That's just how I am. And this is just the job I do, so let's go.
AJ, hi, Cal Sajad, BBC Sport. Joe Gallagher said something interesting to me. He said, boxing purists, the hardcore fans, they'll have the stopwatch out from the moment that first bell rings.
Yeah.
They'll expect you to finish this in super quick time. Now, you've blocked out outside noise throughout your career. But do you feel that weight of expectation of having to knock him out early?
I'm carrying boxing on my back. I've done it with the Ngannou fight, and I'm going to do it again. I understand the expectation. I don't carry it because the expectation I have of myself is already enough, but I understand it, I acknowledge it, and I respect it. But that's about it as far as outside concern about this fight. Thank you very much. All good? Thank you, yeah. Respect.